Hey, what's up, ecosystem? Tonight's interview is Richard Bren of PFA Transportation Insurance and Surety Services, and then a live panel where we talk about surety bonds and auto liability contingency. Bring your questions and buckle in. It's Tuesday nights live on Auto Transport Intel. I'm Jay, your host. Welcome back to the show. Hey, how you guys doing? Welcome back to Auto Transport Intel. I really appreciate you guys tuning in every Tuesday night. It means a lot to me. And I want to start off, I want to thank my sponsors. I really appreciate Sun Country Trailers participating in the Auto Transport Intel experience and being my sponsor for April of 2019. And as we move into May, I've got two more sponsors. I've got PFA Transportation Insurance and Surety Services, and they're with me here tonight. And then in 2 weeks, we're going to meet Penny from Evil Sizer and Associates. If you don't already know Penny of Evil Sizer and Associates, you're going to meet her in 2 weeks. But tonight, it is all PFA Transportation Insurance and Surety Services. And I really appreciate them helping me grow Auto Transport Intel. And of course, I appreciate you guys tuning in. You know, if you're new here, here's the rundown. I run the car hauler, and then I welcome you to the show. And then I'm going to go into the live chat here in a couple minutes. I'm going to say hello to the live chat. If you see me looking over here, that means I'm looking at the live chat. I'm reading the chat. And I'm going to say hello to every single one of you because I love you coming in. It means a lot. You're a big part of the show. Then we're going to go into industry news. If you're just joining me now, I'm talking about the lineup. And we're going to go into the industry news. That's the memes that nobody else wants, the photos, the news. Actually, some pretty interesting news tonight. We're going to talk about some of the things happening in the last week. Because you know this is a weekly show, so this stuff is current. So if you're joining me right now, you can participate in the news. And then if you're not watching now and you're watching later, you can comment below this video. You can do that. So tonight, we're going to meet Richard. He's the VP of Insurance at PFA Transportation Insurance and Surety Services. And we're going to spend 30 minutes with Richard. He is very visible at shows on LinkedIn, other forms of social media, always talking about insurance, transportation, risk, and brokers and surety bonds. There's a lot to talk about. So he's the main interview. It's going to be great. And I want you to ask your questions. By the way, let me know if the audio and the video is okay. Means a lot. You guys have really helped me in the past. And I need your help tonight, so let me know, okay? So we're going to go into, at the 1 hour mark of the show, at about 9 o'clock, in about 55 minutes, we're going to go into a live panel discussion, continuing Richard's interview about transportation insurance and surety services. We're going to do a live panel where we bring in Diane. She works with Richard. She works in sales. She also helps out in marketing. And we're also going to bring in Ty, who loves to talk about brokers doing carriers doing broker work there's a lot to talk about there. So it's a live panel discussion. So if you have freight, broker, insurance, surety bond questions, this is the show. You are not going to want to miss what we're going to be talking about tonight. And of course, I got the PFA logo up there. PFA is going to be a sponsor. I guess starting right now, the sponsorship starts right now, PFA. And then so tonight, we're going to learn some more information about Sun Country. We're going to learn some more information about PFA. And we're going to learn some more information about Evil Sizer. This is a really great show. I'm really excited about it. So let's go into the live chat. Now I gotta scroll up. So I'm starting at the beginning. So if you're live right now, bear with me. M Field says, "Hey Jay, it's Marcus from Exclusive Luxury Transport in Las Vegas." That's right, Marcus from Exclusive Luxury Transport in Las Vegas. He's about to hit the road, so he's checking in early. I think that was about a half hour ago, maybe. So listen, man, I have safe travels on the road. I hope the road serves you well, and I hope the rates are reasonable. Miguel Valley says, "What's up, JMJ Auto Transportation in the house?" Welcome back to the show, Miguel. Thanks for saying hello. I appreciate it. What are you doing? Are you on the road? Where are you at? Let me know. Anytime Towing Vermont. Hello, Ecosystem. My name is Matt. I'm addicted to towing and hauling, just about anything. Matt, he gave me this great update, and I am gonna save that for a future show because I want to talk in depth. Actually, Ty and I were talking about we need to do a show called "Be the Local Car Hauler," and your mission statement inspired us to talk more about having that kind of show. Listen, you guys, if you've got a mission statement and you're ready to share it, you want to go, you want to get on your soapbox and say something, you can email me, autotransportintel@gmail.com, and I want to be a part of it. The one and only says, "Hey, what's up? Hey, y'all, drum roll." Thank you so much. That's really nice. I appreciate that a lot. Ty says, "Hi, my name is Ty. I'm a car hauler." And pulling up a chair. Okay, I don't have any notifications, so maybe the audio's okay. It looks okay, but, looks can be deceiving. So, Matt says, "What's up, Ty? Sorry I didn't call you this week. Was home really late. I'll catch up this week. I had to get groceries." No, I added that. One and only says, "Hey, Ty. American Veterans Auto Transport. Hey, y'all." Well, hey, American Veterans Auto Transport, LLC. Thanks for checking in. Really appreciate it. And you know what? By the way, Alicia, thanks for nudging me to get a hold of Diane. That's why this is happening. You helped make this happen. Talked to Diane. We talked to the rest of the PFA team. Said, "Man, this is a great idea. Let's do this. Let's make a show." And here it is. It's happening. So, it's okay to dream. It's helpful. Please, thank you. Let me know. autotransportintel@gmail.com. By the way, if you haven't already given a like, please do. I need them. I need every like, share, comment, and subscription I can get. It really means a lot. Trucking Answers says, "Hey, Jay, it's almost May." Yeah, man. Starts tomorrow, dude. Crazy, right? It's crazy. Bill, Bad Apples, what's up, everybody? Hey, what's up, Bill? Thanks for tuning in. Means a lot. Thanks for saying hello. American Veterans, happy Tuesday, everybody. I know, don't you just love Tuesday? Tuesday is show day. It is show day. It's officially show day. I love the intro hauler with all the older VWs and Audis. That's cool, man. Thank you. I'm going to be updating it, and actually, I want to thank, somebody sent me a clip to add to my intro, and if you've got a car hauler clip you want me to add, go ahead and send it over. It does mean a lot. I do plan on updating that intro. There's just so much to do. There's so much to work on. Did you guys know that I'm going to be speaking at AHA, the Auto Haulers Association of America, in 7 days. In less than 7 days, actually. Next Tuesday afternoon, I'll be in Atlanta. Me and Ty, and Sun Country, and a special guest will be in Atlanta speaking at AHA. So it's amazing. There's so much going on. Hey Jay, hey all I can't even read. That's not going to be good. Hey, Jay. Hey, all. Hope everyone is having an awesome Tuesday night. Thank you, Patrick. Means a lot. Part of the core. Been here since the beginning. Really appreciate it. It's awesome, man. It's the hang spot. It is the hang spot. Although it seems to still be a secret to many. And that's okay. We're going to get the secret out. The cat will be out of the bag. Everybody's going to know that Auto Transport Intel is the car hauling business channel. And that's why I'm going to be speaking at AHA to help. We gotta shout the message. What? It should have been well, if I had okay, forget it. Hey, how to all the car haulers out there on the roads? Yeah, man. By the way, thank you, Tommy. Is that if you're out on the road, thanks for being out on the road. It's not easy to be out on the road. You know that. You got maintenance issues, traffic issues, weather issues, not to mention all the normal stuff, the phone's ringing off the hook. Maybe the kid's got an issue, the wife's got an issue, the bank's got an issue, the house has an issue. There's a phone problem, got an electrical situation, flat tire, one of the cars isn't strapped on, got a dispatcher going haywire, load boards, rates going down. Whew. Man, thank you. Thanks for the hard work you do out on the road. It means a lot. Jay, what are your thoughts on enclosed trailers? I think they're awesome, actually. Enclosed trailers are awesome. It's just that it's a niche, and when you have a niche within a niche, you gotta work really hard to make that niche bear fruit, right? You gotta find those customers. So it's a more of a closed group. You can do it, but enclosed trailers are awesome. You're looking at car collectors, people that do a little bit of racing on the side, higher end vehicles. The sound is great. Awesome. Thank you so much. Have you seen my microphone? It's pretty, I really like that. Cool. Yeah, I really like that microphone. That's the Yeti Blackout. I'm so pleased to have. Let's see here. Ty says, hey, Matt, BDY85022. Hey, you clear? It's me, Diane. Hey, what's up, Diane? All right, you're here. That's cool. And we're gonna have you on the show in about 45 minutes. I'm gonna go into industry news here in a few minutes. Ty says, hey, one and only. Ty says, hey, Wild Bill, BDY, smiley face, Bill, Bad Apples. Hey, Ty. American Veterans Auto Transport. Hey, Diane. Ty. Matt, yes, I'm still waiting on your call. Yeah, it's true. Alicia at American Veterans Auto Transport, thank you so much for putting me in touch with Diane and PFA Transportation Insurance and Surety Services. So thankful for that. Yeah, it's awesome. I'll call you tomorrow, or if you want to call me anytime. The live chat. It's funny to read the live chat. It's like being on a party line and hearing your neighbors talk, and you're like announcing what your neighbors are talking about. It's really pretty funny. How much do I have to pay for commercial insurance every month? That's why you got to be careful what you put in the live chat early on, because I'll read it. I'm like Ron Burgundy up here. Benjamin Ortiz. Well, you know what, Ben? Actually, that's gonna be a great question. You are going to love the interview tonight and then the live panel. So hang on to that question. Ask it again. And bring some particulars also. Only kidding. Kind of depends on the area, business location. You got it, man. Seriously. I have you and CTS on our links page. The website's almost finished. Oh, that's great. I can't wait to see it. I'm glad you mentioned that, Alicia, and that goes for anybody out there. Listen, if you want to include Auto Transport Intel information, reference, videos, you name it, on your website, let me know, because I want to help. Auto Transport Intel, the car hauling business channel, this is now the new industry standard in car shipping. In sharing information, social media, getting your news. I know, I realize it's not the end-all be-all. There are other YouTubers, there are other Facebook groups, and that is awesome. But what I'm saying is, we don't have a centralized location to get information, share information, and stay up to date, to learn what's happening in the industry. We have to Google it and piecemeal it. Not anymore. The Car Hauling Business Channel is here. And if you want to be a part of it, just let me know. I want you to be a part of it. Here we go. Here's one. Truckify Inc. Hey, what's up, Jay? Tell them about the free sign-up at Dispatch Pad. 24/7 automated load dispatch from Central Dispatch for car haulers and vehicle GPS tracking until the car is delivered using Uber technology. So Truckify, I believe Truckify is going to be on the show, I want to say May 21st. Is that right? I think it's May 21st. And on that note, I want to learn more about Dispatch Pad, but I couldn't get much information. So help me out, Truckify. Tell Dispatch Pad if you're in touch with them, tell them to give me a shout. I'd like to learn more. Let's put something together. Random stuff. I just paid $5,000 down payment, $1,500 monthly. Okay, thanks for sharing that with us. Obviously, some of your parameters, your capacity, your running lane, years of experience, those are all going to come into play here. This is the party line. This is the party line. Perfect timing, 8:17, guys. Let's jump into some industry news. All right. By the way, what do you think of my zoomy graphics? Speaking of zoomy graphics, here is our here's our zoomy graphic for the evening. This is our, here we go. I'm in the way. Let's get me out of the way here. Auto Transport Intel Tuesday nights live. Tonight's video thumbnails, PFA Transportation Insurance and Surety Services, what you need when you need it. What you need when you need it. PFA Protects, call 800-595-2615 and ask a question. But you know what? You don't have to call that number tonight because they're here answering questions and sharing information. It's going to be awesome. I'm really excited about it. But before we do that, let's have some fun. I am so tempted. You guys get... That's awesome. You've seen that. Who hasn't been that guy, right? Here you are. It's a beautiful day. And there is a pipe ramp right in front of you. Are you going to do it? Just do it. Okay. All right, don't do it, man. It's going to be bad on the insurance. When you're trying to see if the way station sign says open or closed. It's pretty funny. Look at the way that guy's standing up on the door. He's done this before. I have a feeling. I'm pretty sure. It's just a shot in the dark, but I think so. Okay, well, when the rates are down, are you tired of eating off the load boards? Yeah, it's time to start moving some passengers. And get you a lift sign. I don't think you can do that, though. I don't think that's going to be good for the insurance. Okay, I saw this on a Facebook thread. Does anybody say thread anymore? What are your biggest challenges regarding the business aspects of being an owner-operator? Boy, oh boy. Where do we start? All right, well, let's do some. Okay, so that is going to be a little risky. You can do it, but don't tell the insurance company. That's a lot, dude. But, I mean, you know, I'm just saying. I'm just being specific. Or how about if we make logbooks paper again? Alright, I'm not sure what that's doing in there, but it's funny. It's a great shot, too. Like, it's totally, like, planned. I love that. Good planning. Alright, how about this one? Here's a challenge for you. New shop policy, $100 surcharge be applied to any customer that mentions how they can find parts cheaper online. That's funny. Also, Trigger Toms will be charged an additional $50 per comment they delete after posting. That's a real sign, by the way. That's real. I'm pretty sure that's real. I don't think this is staged. Here's a challenge. Here's a question. Can the DOT search your vehicle? Anybody? Bueller? Bueller? I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure they can. Right? Because have you guys seen the video of the guy that got a ticket for not making his bed? True story. Oh, here's a challenge for you. I know, I was nice. I blurred out the broker. Okay, that is... Alright, can you see that? Let's go ahead and zoom that in. That is 26 cents a mile, folks. Now, by the way, okay, Florida, New Jersey, I know someone's going to say it's a reverse snowbird, and that's the market. Well, I'll tell you what, what is the... let's see here. It is not snowbird season anymore. I mean, the snowbirds are going home. Okay, this was posted in March. The snowbirds are headed home. There is no, dude. The snowbirds are headed home. This is the route. Florida, New Jersey shouldn't pay. Don't book a car for 26 cents a mile. Don't do that, man. There's a challenge for you. I'm looking for a dispatcher that can get my revenue around $12,000 a week if possible. Need a incentives. So, okay. I'm just saying, $12,000 a week. I don't know what you're hauling. If you're hauling like hazardous jet fuel that's currently on fire, maybe you can get $12,000 a week. I know there's an enclosed carrier pulling that, but still. I mean, you're just going to get a dispatcher? I think you need to watch Dispatcher Addiction, I think. Pretty sure. Here's a challenge for you. Truck drivers are not... By the way, this was in front of the beer. Truck drivers are not welcome at Walmart. Really? Thank you. Okay, now I'm just reading the sign. I'm not saying it's true. I just read the sign. Oh, my goodness. Really? Okay. Here's a challenge for you. The insurance company is going to want to know about this one. So, what's going on here? Doesn't look like you're loading or unloading. It's a good thing you're unloaded. Or is this the unloading? I don't know, man. It's not going to be good. Okay, here, your insurance company is not going to like this one. Reckless driving, speeding over 80 miles an hour. 85 and a 70. It's not going to be good. You definitely don't want to see that one. This is all from Facebook. I mean, all of it from in the past week. I mean, I'm on Facebook all day long. You got to see this. I'm not making it up. This is... An insurance company is not going to like this one. Oh, man. Okay. Okay. Oh, I know there's more. Don't do this to me. I hate it when it does that. All right, let's go to the next one. Stolen. I saw this today. The marketing is great. I'm sorry it's stolen. That sucks. This is real. If you guys see this truck, I didn't see the contact info. You can just send me an email, autotransportintel@gmail.com. This is true. This truck is stolen, or at least reported stolen, from Woodstock on Monday. That's yesterday. So if you see it, yeah, that's a challenge. Okay, here's a challenge. All right, big news story lately. No surprise. Everybody's talking about it. Falcon Transport leaves drivers, brokers, and insurers unpaid and equipment dumped. Okay, now I'm reading the headline again. I don't know all of what happened. In meaning that it's everywhere, and I'm kind of focused on, the big picture, not the minutia, because I know that. I mean, this news story is everywhere, but it's a bad news story. It shakes confidence. And who was the company that just went out of business? Somebody will type it in the live chat. It just happened a couple weeks ago. You hate to hear this. That 700 trucks is what I read. 700 trucks. There's already a lawsuit filed. I mean, that's a no-brainer, but that's a pretty quick filing of a lawsuit. Must be important. TransportationNation.com posted that. And then, here we go. Timothy Dooner, friend of the show. He's actually been on the show. Now he works for Freight Waves. And he has put up I saw this on LinkedIn, open call to all former Falcon employees and drivers. He's a reporter with Freight Waves. You can get a hold of him if you're a Falcon employee or driver, or you were. Send him an email. He wants to talk to you. This is what I'm talking about. This is what Auto Transport Intel, the car hauling business channel, is all about. Where else are you going to hear all this in just one fell swoop? Nowhere. That's why we're here, man. Here we go. This is a great message. I am sure, has a happy ending. I am sure you have all heard or will be hearing soon. Falcon Transport has shut their doors, have left drivers stranded. We at Navajo do not want drivers to be left on the road. If you come across a Falcon driver and it is in your route, please call us to let us know. We'll give them a ride to the nearest safe haven. We want to help these drivers out. So please let us know if you come across any of them. Thank you, Navajo Management. That's really cool. That is cool. I mean, I hear drivers are just being stranded. Loads lost, dropped, trucks stopped. Dang, man. Also, here's another news story that was just in the news. You guys know the Colorado crash guy? Didn't hit his brakes or had brake issues? Well, here we go. Violations 30. Trucker accused of fatal crash worked for company with history of brake issues. Okay, that's not going to be good. Your insurance company's not going to want to hear that. That's going to be that's the quote of the night. The insurance company's not going to want to hear that. I'm thinking about buying a truck and leasing on with someone what's out there to lease on to. I live in the Louisville area. Thanks in advance. Yeah, that's definitely going to open up some industry insurance questions. If you're leasing on, you definitely want to check with your insurance company. Although maybe that's why you're leasing on. Seems to be a trend with carriers going after direct freight and shippers going along with it. Brokers don't like this activity. Now, that was posted on Facebook, but I'll tell you, if you're going to go directly for the shipper, you're probably going to end up with loads that you can't haul yourself, and now you're acting as a broker. And guess what? If you're a carrier acting as a broker, you are now, by definition, brokering loads, and you're going to need to know how to cover yourself. We're going to talk about that tonight, too. C.H. Robinson liable for ruined chocolate. It didn't transport the chocolate, and it's still liable? Brokering loads. Point of this news article is, I'm not going to go into the minutia of this article, but that if you are brokering loads, your insurance company is going to want to know about it. So talk to them. Be honest with them. Tell them what's going on. Tell them what you're doing. All right? Don't hold secrets. Carriers shall defend, indemnify, and save harmless brokers, customers, shippers, and consignees. This is just one paragraph. And this is a bedtime story. Do not let the legal language catch you by surprise. I'm telling you, this show is for you. Oh, here we go. Someone posted this on Facebook. All right, about car hauling profitability. You see in here, insurance on the truck, license, fuel tax. Oh, other insurance. Lots of insurance. Insurance is very important when you're calculating your cost per mile, so don't leave anything out. That was the point of me including it in here. But pretty interesting. Here we go. He calculated his cost at $1.77 a mile. Know your cost per mile. Know your cost of doing business. And cover yourself. Would you cover yourself? I think that's Chet from Weird Science. Hey, by the way, speaking of, CTS business question of the day. CTS business coaching question of the day, excuse me. And by the way, while I'm doing that here, let me change this. I got to do this. I got to do this. While you're pondering, what is the question? Oh, we don't want that. We want that. Oh, dang it. I always do that. Here we go. Hang on one second. I know you can't see me. Question of the day. Where's Jay? Okay. The question is, if something goes wrong on the road, are you protected? Are you protected out there? Do you have the proper insurance for all of the types of business that you're conducting? Are you sure about that? Have you checked with a professional? Do you need a professional consultation? You got questions? Man, this show is for you. I'm telling you, this is going to be a great show. That's the CTS Business Coaching Question Day. By the way, if you are a new car hauler, you're thinking about getting into auto transport, you want just a 1-hour coaching session for $100 with Ty. You can call Ty. Ty will put his phone number in here right now. You call him right now. If you don't have any time to wait, you can call Ty right now. Ty will put his phone number in here for you. Actually, Ty's going to be on the show here shortly. So if you need help, if you have a question about your business, make sure you're covered. Make sure that you've got all the information and your ducks in a row and your paperwork filled out properly. We're going to talk about that tonight. After the break, we're going to bring in Richard with PFA transportation insurance and surety services. We're going to have a 30-minute interview. You're going to be able to live chat your questions, ask him what you want, and he is bringing the knowledge. He knows what he's talking about. But before we do, we're going to take a look. I'm going to remind you once again of why PFA is here to protect you. So stick around, and we're going to be right back.
Maybe the most important thing to think about is what's going to destroy you, and that is where auto liability comes in. Some may argue that the freight broker is not responsible, but we see those claims happening, and there is some reality that it's there to protect, it's there to provide defense, and it's there to pay on their behalf, and that's keeping some of them alive, keeping them in business. The other part of your question, where's a good bang for the buck? One of the things that we run into a lot is just talking about contracts. And in a future episode, we'll cover contracts and contractual requirements. But I think a lot of freight brokers are frustrated with juggling the contractual issue, but also spending a lot of time, wasted time, on little claims that maybe arise out of the cargo side, and yet some of those can become significant. So bang for the buck. A lot of our customers are talking to us about cargo. There's special coverage forms, a variety of them, and that's what we hear ourselves finding to be a critical thing that we can help them, gives them that bang for the buck that you're talking about.
So there you go. You got the phone number, you've got the information, and we're going to be, Richard is on his way into the interview. And as I say that, if you're out there, listen, if you're thinking of being a freight broker, you absolutely are going to want to watch this show, because you know that there are forms you have to file. There is paperwork. There is insurance that you want to make sure you're covered. You might want to make sure you're covered beyond what the carrier has. And so to do that, you want to talk to a professional, and that's PFA, Transportation Insurance and Surety Services. And they also, let's take a look at the website. Let's go to, you can easily go to their website. Let's bring that up here. You can go to PFA Protects. .com. Okay, can you still see me here? Let's move there we go. So you go to pfaprotects.com, and I'm going to type that in here. Let's go to pfaprotects.com, and when you go to pfaprotects.com, you can scroll around, find out more about their services. Well, let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to stop share, and because I've got Richard Bren joining now, and he's tuning in remote, and we're going to be live. We're live, dude. We're going to be live on YouTube talking about this stuff. Is there anybody else live on YouTube right now talking about broker, freight, cargo, insurance, surety bonds, etc.? I don't think so. It's happening right here on Auto Transport Intel. So I know what happens when people join my meetings. You know, you got to check your video settings, your audio settings. So Richard's doing that right now. So when he gets that cleared up, oh my gosh, I got a crazy super chat. Toe Piglet has $100 super chat. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Wow. Holy cow. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to go ahead and pull up, I'll tell you what, you donate $100 and we are going to bring up your site. Toe Piglet. I know, you know what? Because where did I see Toe Piglet before? I know I saw this. I know I saw your. I know I saw the site before. Oh, let me go back to this screen, and we pull this off. Toe Piglet with $100. Wow, man! Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and do that so we can see the full site. So, toepiglet.com. And specializing in hot shot trucking, and with almost 4 years, nearly 500,000 miles under our belts, we've become a top tier transporter for hot shot freight. That is awesome. And hey, by the way, Richard, do you have that? Remember that video terminal conflict you had before that setting. I wonder if you have that setting still on, or what I was thinking is if you toggle the audio settings and the video settings, then that might be also be an issue too. I know like joining these live video meetings can be cumbersome, but I hear you there, at least tuning in.
You see me?
I don't see you yet, but I hear you now.
Well, I'm trying to switch over to another Wi-Fi connection. I apologize.
Oh, that's cool. We got
turned you on.
Well, that's okay. Toe Piglet, he just donated $100 super chat, so we're taking a look at his site. Wow, that's beautiful, man. Dude, he's on YouTube too. Oh, Toe Piglet's on YouTube? Let's go check that out. Let's go to YouTube. See what happens if you get me excited and you super chat and you help the show. Let me tell you, that gets me very excited. So now we're on. Oh, there we go. 10,000 subscribers. Well, sign me up. Yeah. Okay, that's awesome. Here, let's do. This is awesome. Nice video, man. Very nice, dude. So, wow. So, I'll tell you what. We're going to have Toe Piglet on the show sometime.
Obviously, my name isn't Toe Piglet.
Obviously, my name isn't Toe Piglet. Wow, that is incredible. And what a teaser. So, you guys have to check that out. Okay, so Richard, I can't see you yet, but I heard you before. Can you hear me and see me?
I can see you wonderfully,
Okay.
and like I said, I'm gonna try to jump over to a MiFi here.
Okay.
So I've been watching you fine,
Okay.
but I connected fine the other day, and I'm not right now. I apologize.
Oh, that happens. Hey, what I was going to say is if you want to, you can leave this meeting, make your settings, and try to rejoin with that same email I sent you if you want to do that. It's an option.
You cut out on me. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
If you want to try it, you could leave this meeting, make your changes, and then rejoin with the same email invite that I sent you if that helps.
Give me a few minutes. Be right back.
All right,
Sorry.
Cool. It's all good. It's all good. So, so Richard's gonna try that, and you know what's really actually helpful is that when people get to see, ooh, look at that. When people get to see in real time the issues that can happen with a live show like this, like double vision freakiness. Anything can happen. So, when you're live, anything can happen, and that is part of it. So I was going to go back. I was going to look in the live chat. Hey, Jay, can you whip me up a glass of ELD Kool-Aid? Well, let me tell you something. I always keep a glass of ELD Kool-Aid handy. Do you know why I do? Oh, because I got to quench my thirst with all that ELD frustration that makes me hot and sweaty. I'll tell you, I know a year and a half ago that, when I started talking about ELDs, when I started going live about a year and a half ago, and I was talking about ELDs, and I came up with the ELD Kool-Aid, whipped it up in the basement, I was hoping that we'd be talking about ELD as some kind of a weird past, and it didn't happen, and, we could all go, woo, that was just a terrible dream, but it's not a dream. ELD is here to stay, folks, and if you think ELD is not sticking around and a part of, everything current, well, man, that is not happening. Let me tell you. ELD is here to stay. You need to get you some ELD Kool-Aid. Oh, just drink it up, man. Just drink it up and get used to the fact that ELD is here to stay. Now, I know some people are going to tell you that ELD is wonderful and it keeps the trains running on time, and well, that could be true. But ELD is here to stay, and that's why I keep ELD Kool-Aid. So thank you, Patrick, for bringing up ELD Kool-Aid. I do love it. Oh, I do love it so. Yes, Truckify on May 21st. That's going to be great. So yeah, the rundown is we got PFA tonight. Next week is we're going to be live at the Auto Haulers Association of America. In 2 weeks, we are going to have Penny from Evil Sizer here to talk about filing your new authority. By the way, did you guys see on Facebook? There's an offer on Facebook. One person is going to get $100 off filing your new authority with Evil Sizer. You have to be an actual customer filing for your new authority, and you can get $100 off. But you have to email Penny to make that happen. Now, Richard, I hear you, but I don't see you yet. But I know you just got here, so I know you're working.
Am I back and am I any better?
You're great, except I don't see you. I just hear you.
I got my video on.
Really? Well, video settings are funny like that. Yep. So what can happen is if are you using an internal camera or an external camera?
It's one we tested last week, my friend. Mm-hmm. It's the same machine.
Same
everything.
Machine and everything. And are you in a different location or same location?
Different location is the only thing, and I'm trying to jump off of one Wi-Fi and onto another one. I got full power.
Did you have any other video meeting programs that you used today?
No.
Because there could have been a conflict there. It's very interesting. Do you see in the lower left-hand corner, do you see a setting stop video, start video? Boom. I knew it. I knew we'd get it. I knew we'd get her there.
We got her done.
So I'm bringing up... Hey, Bennett. Hey, welcome to the show, Richard. Awesome, man. Thank you for joining me tonight on Auto Transport Intel. Richard, I know that, man, you are very visible and vocal you're on LinkedIn a lot, aren't you? Like daily?
Try to be.
Yeah. First of all, you are the VP of Insurance at PFA Transportation Insurance and Surety Services, correct?
Correct.
All right. So what are you talking about so often on LinkedIn? What's your business? What do you do? And what are you passionate about? What are you talking about?
If you check out my profiles, you'll see I'm an old truck insurance geek. That's just in my DNA. I'm that kid that was the illegal passenger. I was the kid that was driving trucks for farmers at 14. I always felt that I was going to be somehow in the transportation industry, and ended up being an insurance guy, supporting my trucker buddies with their insurance coverage needs. That's where my career started. My passion has to do with a lot of safety issues and risk management. I personally have sleep apnea, so you'll see me post things out there about fatigue, about distracted driving, about sleep apnea. If you want to save your life, you'll take care of that snoring problem that you have. You'll see me talk a lot about insurance things and what's going on, and to help you realize that while you think you're being abused, there's just some really difficult challenges going on with the insurance world. And as we talked, and we'll hit in tonight, it's a penny's business, just like trucking is a penny's business. And so if you can gain an appreciation for the challenges that you both have and your similarities, I think you'll gain some perspective on how to work better together. But as you alluded to, I post a lot out there about education and training. I think we can all continue to get better. And that's why I'm here tonight is I learn from these kind of things, and whatever people want to contribute, I'm ready to hear more and learn more every day.
Teaching and learning is kind of contagious. Like, especially when I think it's part of, you can't help but do it. The more you learn, the more you share, and then the more of an expert and authority you are. Tell us more about PFA Transportation Insurance and Surety Services, would you?
You bet. PFA has been long known as Pacific Financial Association, founded by a lady named Penny Larson. She's still alive, still a member of the board. Her son, Dan, is the CEO. Penny saw an opportunity to help freight brokers with a specialty product in the surety space, and establish the means by which that required filing for the freight broker could be handled with a trust fund. That has developed over the last 20 plus years. They've added a traditional bond product. In the past, a freight broker, from a regulatory standpoint, only needed to have that surety, that bond, that trust fund in place. So they were going to the traditional bond markets or specialty providers like Pacific Financial Association, or even their bank, and getting that trust fund posted. The ever-growing demand for insurance, the challenges upon them, the contractual requirements, but also the cases that were arising against freight brokers, led Dan Larson to realize that he was not living up to the entire needs of his customers. And they entered into the insurance space and were having some success there, and wanted to get more depth deeply into it, get after it. And I'm an old insurance marketing guy, and they're surety specialists, and the two of us came together. And that's what we're doing today, is we're rounding out that ever-growing challenge for them, is to provide what they need, some specialty surety, handle those claims, know what's going on, and then help them with their insurance challenges.
You know, as you talk about the history of the company and how things evolve through time, when did Penny begin the company? Do you know?
Over 20 years ago.
Right.
Last year was the official marking of the 20th anniversary.
Right, and that's the 20th.
You know,
And
Yep.
and so after the foundation of the company, when was the next big change? Do you know?
I would say the last evolution of changes. Well, the change in the requirement in 2013, 10/1/2013, was when MAP 21 required the freight broker bond to increase from 10,000 to 75. That changed the marketplace to a certain extent. And then after that, I would say the last 5 years has continued to see even more evolution of the demands for insurance and to protect themselves. So there's MAP 21, as you said.
Yeah.
And that had and that's still not fully appreciated or fully enforced. There, as you alluded to in your opening, there are those who are convenience interlining, who are finding a substitute means to transport. And the confusing part is, as I used to say when I worked inside the insurance company, stand at the scene of the accident and start telling me the names and the DOT numbers and all the parties that can be seen on the trucks, on the trailers, on the shipping papers. And it can start to get pretty confusing at that scene, which means that the claims activity and the resolution of the claim is going to get challenging at that point also.
Yeah, MAP 21, it's cool. When I was talking to you guys initially, I'll bet there's so much information that you could talk about in specific with the changes of MAP 21, but broadly, it changed that initial from 10,000 to 75,000. Right, and that is specifically, I'm talking about the, fill in the blank for me if you would. For $75,000, what is that? If somebody out there has heard, well, I heard something changed from 10,000 to 75,000, that is what?
So that is the requirement for this. I call it the surety because it can be a traditional bond or it can be a trust fund.
Okay.
So our trucker buddies that are listening, they know that when they go into business, before their MC can go active, they got to have what's called the 91X filing. Their liability filing's got to be put up for them. So depending on their authority, dry goods would be like $750,000 as a minimum. These auto transporters or miscellaneous hazmat, they need $1 million 91X filing. In the freight broker side, the freight forwarder side, it's their 84 or 85, BMC 84 or 85 filing that goes up for them. That went from 10 to 75. That is a surety. That is a statement to the people that they're giving loads to that says, should I fail to pay the bills I owe you, there's money in a surety, that the government is required to be posted. And that's where claims are filed against those that don't pay the freight charges that are due. And so that's That was the one big increase. The other significant thing that happened is in the past, a dual registration could be done. You could be under the same MC, both a freight broker and a trucker. With this point forward, if you go into register, the government is supposed to be separating those and not putting them on the same MC. And so the insurance industry is also opposed to operating them in the same name. Right. So the good thing is now it's saying go ahead and be Jay's Logistics LLC, but Jay's Trucking Company Inc., does have a different name. It's going to have a separation. And when Jay shows up and talks to me about moving my cars, I'm gonna have to know, does Jay mean he's going to broker it, or is Jay going to put it on his own assets, right? On his own trucks, his own wheels. So that's the other big distinguishing thing in MAP 21. If you show up and say, I'm putting it on my trucks, and you don't, then you broke the regulations.
Wow. I mean, that's kind of a big deal. And that's what I wanted to talk about as you're talking about some of these delineations. I mean, it happens all the time. You're a carrier, you have a customer, and you're going to move a car. And you find out you can't get that on one of your trucks, or maybe you just didn't realize based on the pickup and delivery location, whatever the circumstance is, you are now going to broker that load. And even if you think you've already got or don't have anything in place to broker that load, it sounds like there's several possible pitfalls here. How is a carrier supposed to comply even if they think they're doing the right thing? They've got the customer's car, they were gonna take it, but now they need to broker it out. Is there something they need to do to make sure that they're doing that properly, or are they just, is it too late?
Well, that's why as a small carrier, we advocate to go ahead and set that up front, to know that's going to protect yourself. And so I was a truck insurance agent in Phoenix, Arizona, prior to going back to doing some more company work that prepared me for this role today. And I can remember a trucker of mine named Danny, and Danny had been running about 15 trucks. Times got hard. He sold all the trucks off to all of the drivers. So now everybody was an independent contractor. Danny was both an operator of a trucking company and a freight broker, so that he could get all of the freight through him. And then in their little community of 12, 15 trucks, he could distribute that off through the freight brokerage, right? So Danny was still kind of the central guy, but everybody had their own MC DOTs. Everybody was responsible for their own FMCSA regulatory requirements, that they needed to do personal drug testing and driver files and maintenance, but they were doing it themselves. They were no longer dependent on Danny as the fleet operator. They only looked to him as being the load provider. So that's a great way for you to be able to go out, talk to somebody about their freight in this avenue tonight. We're going to say car, and say, hey, I believe that I can move that car for you from here, Phoenix, Arizona to Vegas without a problem. And then all of a sudden you change your mind and you want that to go to Millinocket, Maine. And I'm like, well, that's going to be a problem. How about I find somebody else for you? How about I run that through my freight brokerage and I find somebody for you? That's where you have that flexibility. You're able to take care of your customer. So that's why it's a process. It's going to cost you a little more money, but you could set yourself up as that freight broker and probably increase your ability to talk to more people, because I don't have an enclosed trailer and you want enclosed. What am I going to do? I'm going to find you an enclosed trailer now through the brokerage.
Good. And that's a good example. And those kinds of things do happen. I mean, customer has a new preference and it's going to change whether or not we can haul it. So to do that, let's say you're a carrier and you foresee where you're going to be brokering loads, which I think what's interesting, we're going to talk more about this tonight. Really, that's any expanding business carrier's future, is that you're going to be brokering loads. So what are the steps, as easy as possible, that a carrier needs to follow to make sure they're ready for that future? To file the BMC 84, 85?
Well, the first thing is you need to get back into the federal website. If you do this work yourself, if you set up your own MC, now it's another registration. You'll go back in and you'll go through the process to become a freight broker.
Okay, so you file your broker authority.
Yep.
Okay.
And I believe I've been watching your channel. Penny is an example of somebody that you can call up, right, and say, hey, how do I get this going here, right? And then they'll help get that paperwork going for you, processing it, doing your MCS 150, getting your BOC 3, all of that, just like was done in the trucking. It's real similar to what you're going to go through. But there's going to come this point in time where you had to buy your truck insurance. You're going to need to get your surety. You're going to have that trust fund or that bond, which is, again, a primary product that we provide. What is it? And what's a little different about that is that a bond, insurance is anticipating losses are going to happen. Bonds don't. And so your personal credit and your credit worthiness is being underwritten. Because now you're like the steward of money, right? Because somebody just gave you $1,000 to move this car, and you're going to give, a percentage of that to somebody else, and you're only going to keep some of it. Well, we want to make sure you're going to pay your bills, right? We're going to look at who you are, and that's whether it's us or any bond underwriter, making sure that the character of that person isn't going to present a claim. Hopefully nobody on this knows what a bail bondsman does, but that's what a bond is there too, right? Hey, I'm going to show up in court, and those are other types of bonds. That's what this bond is saying. Hey, we're going to pay for the freight that's due in as far as the money's due to those truckers.
That's where, and I know you were talking about, as far as from the business side, there is background information. It's like getting a credit line. There are just certain personal and business information that needs to go into it. Well, here's a question I had, though. Let's say you have an MC number, you're a carrier, and you want to file for your broker authority. Is that a separate authority or an addendum to your current authority? How does that work? Do you know?
We're going to highly recommend that you do a completely different business entity. The government doesn't require it, but you heard me say earlier that you got a logistics LLC and a trucking Inc. Mm-hmm. It can be a trucking LLC. The point being, you that helps you to truly separate and run two different businesses. And so that makes it clear with your contracts, that makes it clear with your taxes, it makes it clear with your insurance companies. Because a trucking insurance company that sometimes sees this brokerage over here, they're afraid that a claim might jump out of this brokerage and come over onto their trucking policy.
Right.
And they don't want that to happen.
Right.
So without naming any names, there are certain insurance companies that when they find out that this freight broker is over here, if it's in a similar name and if there's not separation, I've seen them do what I'm promoting here. They're saying, get that brokerage off this MC if you want us to insure this trucking company. Go put it over here. Go truly separate it. The government does not require two different corporate names, and there are those that have a corporate company with two different DBA operating names. But I'm just telling you, this is what you're going to run into in the marketplace. And in some companies, insurance-wise, even when they find a common address and common phone numbers and common emails, that triggers their warning lights and sirens to go off, saying, "All right, you didn't disclose it." So, depending on how far the degrees of separation are, I'm warning people. it's the right thing to do to separate them, but yet disclose. I heard you say that earlier. Disclose what's really going on here, because there are lots of tools to find it out.
That makes me. So I think I might have asked this before. Then is that so? If you are a carrier and you're brokering loads and you haven't separated companies, you haven't filed for the surety bond, you're moving forward. Things are busy. Life is busy. When is it that you realize you have a problem? When a claim gets filed?
Everything's fine till somebody gets hurt, right?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's sometimes when the bell tolls, because you know what? I just couldn't move that car, and I gave it to my buddy, and he had it on his truck. But when the paperwork went to show up to my insurance company to pay for that cargo claim, somebody else's name was on that bill of lading, right?
Right.
Somebody else's vehicle was described in that paperwork. My insurance company looked at it and said, "That's not us." And unfortunately, I had trucker buddies back before the MAP 21 changes that had that happen to them. Not auto transporters, but I got 5 trucks in LA today, and I need 6. And I call up Jay and I say, "Hey Jay, you got an extra truck in LA?" "Yeah, I do." "Hey, go bump the dock over there, at XYZ, and bring that load back for me." And that load came back, and it was supposed to be frozen, and it wasn't when it got back to Phoenix. So it was off condition. So they turned it over to that buddy to give it to his insurance company. And that buddy's insurance company looked at the bill of lading, and guess what? His buddy's name wasn't on the bill of lading, right? It was my customer who was on that bill of lading, and his insurance company says, "We're not responsible." So now all of a sudden you got $60,000 worth of refrigerated freight that's off condition. You got a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. Oh my goodness. So, and then that could lead to a lawsuit, right?
Yep. Cargo is sometimes easier. The real bad part is when somebody's injured, and that's when it really gets even stickier.
Right.
Right.
Personal
So like I
injury.
said, everything's good till somebody gets hurt. But that's the unfortunate part. Now, the regulations, to be honest with you, there's not enough enforcement officers to chase after this. But you broke a regulation, and people could narc you out, for
Well, and
broker.
I'm part of that too. Yeah.
Yep.
Because some people are just, a legitimate broker, right? That's had it with somebody who's maybe they're not only going around the law, but they're not doing it very fairly. Yeah, they could get reported.
Yep. And in the feds, like any enforcement, they have to chase after the worst of the worst, and that's what they're trying to do. Is they're trying to shut down those imminent hazards, is what they call them. You don't ever want your name tied to the words imminent hazard published by the federal government, because that gives you a special notoriety, and they shut you down immediately. But those are the kind of things that can build up. And then the other thing that is going on is that there are these communities, and they're not necessarily social network communities, but maybe they are. There are vendor services that feed information in about carriers that fail to deliver, freight brokers that fictitiously, try to grab a load and double broker it. And inside those communities, there are kind of chat boxes. There's comments made about people. So just like there's the ripoff report, right, that's kind of out in the open internet, behind some of these vendor subscriber services are comments that are going on amongst association groups or customers of that same vendor. And all they're trying to do is protect each other.
Well, and that's where, in speaking with you, I learned, there's a lot behind the scenes. There's a lot more than I did not realize there was that much.
Oz is behind the curtain, my friend.
Yeah. Oh, man. There is, if you want to call it due diligence, there's a lot of due diligence happening behind the scenes. at your level of expertise in this industry. I want to ask this because I know I'm thinking there's a carrier thinking this. Okay, listen. If the law doesn't require me to have a carrier MC and a broker MC, and I can have just one MC, and I can have the BMC 84 or 85 so that I'm legally brokering, I'm also complying with MAP 21, and my insurance agency, for as much as they know and as much as much cargo insurance as we have, liability insurance, we pay a lot already, and we've got those forms filed, are we okay?
For the most part, yes. You're not breaking any laws, right?
Good.
And I can think of a very well-run trucker that does have both his freight brokerage and his trucking under the same name, right? And his insurance company is cool with it, and he operates them quite well. So yes, it happens out there, but how many people trying to evolve into that are gonna be able to do that today? So that's more of the those are the grandfather deals of years gone by, and insurance companies accepted them in the past. But one of my former employers, for as big as they are in writing truck insurance, and this was when I worked for an insurance company, they're getting a little sheepish, and they're kind of tightening the box in around the freight broker side of their trucking companies. So they're starting to look at, well, how much trucking business do you do and how much freight brokerage do you do? And if this freight brokerage starts getting a little bit too big, well, then they don't like it anymore. And so they're starting to, it's kind of a scale. How much am I willing to accept of this secondary freight brokerage kind of stuff? And if all of a sudden, you're in the right place and time and bam, that freight brokerage takes off on you, you might have a problem with your truck insurance then. And you're gonna be dancing to a different tune trying to figure out how am I going to fix this thing.
So that's really interesting. So what I visualized was almost like a bar chart where if you see a certain amount of brokerage happening, red alert, it's time to create the broker side of this business.
And
that's awesome.
Well, there's so many challenges that are going on, not to name any truckers, but there's a very large motor carrier based out of Phoenix whose name is kind of like going rapidly.
Okay. They get more. They have drivers, trailers. They're growing. You're saying
their name. If I were to say their name, you would know it.
Okay, I'm with you. Going rapidly.
They just had like $100 million settlement against.
No, man.
Okay.
100.
Which is an adverse decision with their use of independent contractors. So companies like that, when they get hurt with that, have to decide, how many times can I afford to do that, right?
Wow. What was it based on, this lawsuit?
Well, today's world of using the independent contractor rather than an employee driver.
You're talking about that California case, right?
Misclassification. Mm-hmm. Yep. And so there are a lot of companies that were using employees and independent contractors, and this was one of those companies. And because of all the challenges with using independent contractors, and once again, everything's fine until somebody gets hurt. Now I want to be an employee and I want to get all these employee benefits. So sometimes the contractor really is the instigator to that challenge arising. And the point being, unless you operate solely with independent contractors or solely with employees, you stand this yin-yang challenge that you could be deemed misclassifying these people, even though you're trying to treat them as an independent contractor and push them away and contract with them the right way. So long story here, maybe I should just help these guys, suggest these guys, or just tell these guys, I'm not going to contract with you anymore unless you're registered as your own MC, and I'll freight broker to you. That's called a settlement carrier model, and a lot of trucking companies have converted their use of independent contractors from being a revenue share independent contractor with the MCDOT of the trucking company on the side of the truck, and told them, you go get your own DOT MC, you come back to me and I'll broker you freight.
Well, you just made me think about carriers that want to lease on, right? That's pretty common.
So the reality is some trucking companies are looking at the FedEx model where they don't want you to be one truck Chuck showing up. They want you to be, 10 truck Charlie and be able to bring multiple drivers and pieces of equipment to the relationship. So, our love for the entrepreneurial independent contractor, the cowboy of the roadway is being challenged. It really is. And I don't ever want to see that go away. That's what separates, our nation in many ways. That's what our commerce is all about, is being able to start, this guy named Jerry Moyes that retired from Swift after running it for 50 years. Back in 1980, they had one truck. And when he got out, he had over 20,000 power units.
Wow.
That's entrepreneurial spirit.
Wow. Well, but it's interesting as you say that. I know that, and Ty and I talk about this, and I think it's going to come up in the next hour, is that in car hauling, we're seeing more individual owner operators joining the industry. Almost like, right, chipping away from the top, and the base is growing.
Well, I what I believe in is that if, we all appreciate somebody whose character, who is trustworthy, right? Who we know we can depend on. And everybody says when Walmart comes to town, don't be afraid as being the retailer that you're going to get crushed. All right, what are you going to do that's going to separate you? Who can you serve, right? And if you're a good auto transporter and you only got one truck, great. Find your lane, find your place, But, control your own destiny about what you're going to do and how you're going to do it, and be the best one truck Chuck that's out there, and go after it.
That's right.
Have a lot of pride in it.
That's what we talk about. That's what Ty talks about. Preaches it every day at CTS Business Coaching.
Yep.
I am excited to continue this conversation. What I'm going to do is, we talked about Evil Sizer. So we're going to hear a word from Evil Sizer. And after the break, we're going to continue. We're going to have Diane. You work closely with Diane at PFA, so she's going to be on the show. And Ty from CTS Business Coaching will be on the show. So I hope that you guys will stick around. We're going to be right back.
Hey guys, Jay at Auto Transport Intel. Do you need to file your new authority, motor carrier authority, broker authority? It's a lot of paperwork with the FMCSA and the USDOT. Get it done right the first time. Let Evil Sizer and Associates help you. They're a full-service authority company. Go to evilsizer.co, evilsizer.com. They are the interstate trucking specialists. Just go to the website, scroll down, get your own authority. Click on File for Motor Carrier Authority or File for Broker Authority. Takes you through the package. Enter your information. It's not that hard. In fact, ATI 25. Enter coupon code ATI 25 to get $25 off. Okay, and also after you file your authority, you're going to need your BOC3. Do you know about your BOC3? Don't mess around with the paperwork. Visit Evil Sizer and Associates today, and don't forget your coupon code ATI 25 to save $25 off when you file your authority. Thanks a lot. I'm Jay at Auto Transport Intel, and I hope this helps you.
All right, cool. So, okay, great. We've got Ty joining us now. Ooh, and yep, Ty's joining us now, and then Diane will be here in a second. So we are back. If you're just joining me now, you are lucky because you are in time for the live panel with PFA Transportation, Insurance, and Surety Services. Tonight, I just had an interview with Richard, but he's going to stick around and talk in the live panel discussion. I've got Ty from CTS Business Coaching joining me now. And then in a second, we'll have Diane. She works in sales at PFA, Transportation Insurance and Surety Services. You know, what we're talking about is that if you are brokering freight, and we're talking about any freight, right? Dry van, flatbed, car hauling. If you are moving cargo and you're brokering, then this is the most informative show I may have ever had on this topic. Because we are going to we're going to keep it rolling. And hey, by the way, Ty, hey man, you've got 2 windows. Everybody else only has 1.
I gotta figure out. Hold on.
Oh, that's cool. You've got and you got a feedback, some kind of feedback loop happening there. That's okay though, man. We forgive you. That's all right. See, you don't have to feel bad, Richard. This is live, and anything can happen when we're live. But by the way, listen, down here, we've got Diane. She works in sales at PFA. Can you hear us and see us okay, Diane?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, and we can see you.
Yay!
All right, awesome. Thanks for joining the show. And Ty, you have 2 video and audio windows, and everybody else only has 1. I'm jealous. So why don't you do this? Do this, Ty. Why don't you exit and then re-enter, but just make sure you only click it once. Try that. I don't know. It's just a guess. I don't know how you get 2. And 1 is frozen. This is interesting. So let's do this. How about I'm going to stop the video there if I can. Let's see here. Oh, see, if I remove you, if I remove you, I totally, if I kick you out, I don't know how to get you back in. So I don't want to kick you out. But I do have we have a frozen Ty on the screen. That's interesting. I don't think we've ever had that before. I love the live production aspect because it's unpredictable. All right, here's what I'm going to do.
Is that Ty a la mode?
It's Ty a la mode. It is. Maybe what I'll do is, you know what I can do is, Ty, stay where you are. Check this. Watch this. Watch what I can do. I'm just going to stick a logo right over his face. There we go. Problem solved. And here, I'll tell you what. I'll do this. And then I can do this. Let me go ahead and resize this. And while
Hey, I think I got it.
all right, cool. And while here, let's see.
Read that other one though.
Let's see it. All right, still leave it there. So I'm gonna do this. All right, I'm just moving the stuff around. And while everyone is watching me do movie magic here live at Jay's Auto Transport Intel experimental YouTube show, let's go ahead and just, I think we're good, man. I think we're just going to keep going because this is live and this is how we roll. We are talking about, hey, Diane, welcome to the show. Diane, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, and why don't you start with that? Tell us a little bit about yourself. Oh, wait a minute. Don't do it yet. Hang on 1 second. Now I'm going to watch this. Bang. Boom. I'm moving it around. We're back. We've got 4 people again. Ty's double left. We've lost Ty's doppelganger. And so while I fill in the titles, Diane, will you please tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, thank you for inviting me on your show.
You're welcome.
I have been with PFA for 13 years as of tomorrow. I started off as the receptionist here, moved into the sales position in 2013, right before the federal change was implemented.
Wow. That's pretty cool. So you said tomorrow is what are you guys doing to celebrate?
I get to work.
Yay!
I have a job. Can't complain.
Amen. Right? It
Right.
is good to have something to do. All right, so tell us more about PFA, and let's say I'm a customer on the phone. Let's say I'm a new broker, and I'm trying to figure out what do I need to do? What am I doing? How do you lead me down the path?
Okay, first I try to figure out where we're at in the process, if you have an authority or if you don't, because we do have the ability to work with some of our third-party vendors to assist you with the authority, the BOC3, the UCR, the other required federal filings. And then I kind of go into transportation industry experience to figure out how long they've been in the industry. We try to figure out where credit scores are so we can figure out the best annual, semi-annual, quarterly, or monthly rate for our freight brokers. And then we kind of just go down the path of figuring out if we need insurance products right now, or if we need to get that a couple weeks after they go active, what their needs are. And then we try to figure out their best options to get them and all of their needs met.
So what's kind of cool is, once again, you have to start with some education and information to figure out what you need to do next.
Absolutely.
I love that part of the process, right? It's when you get to know somebody, learn more about their business, and ultimately find out what do you need to do first to help and get them back on track.
Exactly. And there's no wrong order. They can form their company and obtain the authority and then come and get a quote on the bond. They can get the quote on the bond and then go and form the entity and then the authority. There's no wrong way, except I would form your entity first before you go and obtain an authority, because there's name changes that will be involved further down the road if that's the case. I also try to advise to separate the brokerage from the carrier so that we don't interrupt active carrier insurance while they're getting their brokerage set up.
In fact, early on, I was asking you if there were some steps, and you said, did you say the first thing to do is to get a quote?
On a bond.
Okay, so tell me more about, let's say I know almost nothing. And there are folks actually that are going online and learning about brokering for the very first time. And then they're ready. I'm ready. What do I need to do first? I need to get a quote on
the BMC 84 or the BMC 85. And I'll get them quoted for all products that they're approved for, present them with those options so that way they can game plan and choose what's going to be most affordable for their business. What a lot of people don't realize is the bonds one part, that's what's federally required. What's changed within the industry is the insurance products that we need to discuss as well. And we probably need to game plan that as well at the beginning so that way they can set themselves up for success and they know what their options are for payments. Because some of them are financed, some of them are due up front, depending on the type of insurance products you need.
And Ty, with CTS Business Coaching, you would say that if you're a car hauler on the motor carrier side, there's a similar, you want to get some quotes up front before you start pulling triggers and setting up businesses, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So, I mean, whether you're a carrier or whether you're a broker, you got a similar path there.
Correct.
Do your research first.
Absolutely.
All right. So,
the thing though, Jay, that I tell a lot of the guys that I talk to I'm already talking to the carrier, but the way that I do a business strategy, business plan is we do need to get the broker set up pretty quick, because I'm a direct guy, a relationship guy. So I teach people, go get your own customers, just like I heard Rich say a minute ago, own your lane, find your lane and own it. That's where you stay, right here.
Right.
But the game plan is by getting direct customers, you should eventually get to a spot in a short amount of time that you will start brokering the cars out and generating revenue for your transport company without having to go invest another $100,000 for a truck and trailer. Just for a little while.
That's the thing, is it seems like, I don't know, as we talk to folks that are setting up businesses, it's only a matter of time before they're going to end up brokering. And this is where I want to say, I know it was recent you were talking about how, I mean, you're going to end up brokering loads if you're growing your business, right?
Yeah. Well, Jay, today we got the email from, what was that guy's name that had a turbo blew up and he needed help?
Eric. What was
Eric.
it?
Okay.
I think it was Eric.
Yeah, well, I called, left a message, but this is a perfect example of what Richard's talking about. You got a guy who's got his truck and his trailer and his cars. He's on his way to go where he wants to go to get his cars delivered. His truck blows up. Now what's he going to do with his load?
God, I know.
Richard,
right?
I mean, I've had it happen to me. I know a guy that's over here that could probably help out the situation, but if I stop and think about it, this could really get bad for a lot of people quick. And that's where I think Richard and Diane, what they're saying is absolute truth. It's a separate company. There's a lot of reasons for that. A lot of it is liability. But then hey, I'll help this guy out. I'm just helping him. We do it all the time in this business until something goes wrong, just like Richard said.
As a dispatcher, I feel like I can think of many times where I booked a load on Central, and that was a carrier, not in any way a broker, and they're brokering the load. I'm thinking of a lot of carriers right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, go ahead.
I hear a lot of freight brokers, or a lot of carriers that have no broker authority are actually brokering loads. So I've got a lot of questions that come in initially from carriers saying, hey, I'm doing this. Do I really need a bond? Am I brokering? And they are, and they need to go on ahead and compliant.
At minimum, right? At minimum.
The dirty secret in the car hauling world is we do it every day. And it's like Richard said, I mean, hey, it's a fine until something happens.
Correct.
And when it happens, it's painful. And it's really painful. I've been in there. I know firsthand. I've done it. And it cost me a little bit of money. No, it wasn't stupid driving either.
Well, no. And the deal is, a lot of truckers are just good people. They're good-hearted people. They want to help each other, and the same thing can be said with, hey, I need to borrow your trailer tie. Oh, go ahead. Am I liable to you? What if I damage it? We don't even talk about that stuff, but all of a sudden they bring your trailer back all beat up.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry about it. It was only $15,000 worth of damage, Rich. We're good friends. Yeah, right. That's going to blow up a friendship. So therein lies the problems, and by the same token, I call you up and say, hey, can I borrow your truck? No. Well, can you hook up your truck to my trailer? And away you go, right? And that's where they think they're just helping each other out, and that's well-intentioned. But the insurance and the regulations and all that is what's going to bite you in the hind end. Yeah.
So now that there's a couple people out there sufficiently freaked out, what can they do to ease into the situation? Right? So call you.
Call me. I'll help you. I'll help you figure out what needs to get done, what your first steps are. I have no problem helping anybody. It's free to help you. I want you to get the information and I want you to be successful. So call me and we'll figure out what your next step is after we get a game plan going of what you're doing and what's needed.
800-595-2615.
Correct.
It's right there on the, okay, there we go. So I just put it in the chat. You can call PFA, you can ask for Diane, and you can ask her, how bad is it?
Mm-hmm. We'll get you going. We're able to get you operational in about 3 weeks. So the only thing that you're going to really need brain power on is figuring out a company name and getting your LLC or corporation or sole proprietorship or whatever, your entity form through the Secretary of State so that you're official. And then I will help you with everything else. We'll figure it out.
So, and what you mean when you say 3 weeks, so carriers here, wow, 3 weeks, what? I can't do that. But what you're saying is wait 3 weeks before you broker again.
Correct. Because the authority is going to take at least 21 days before it's going to be made active for you to be legally operational as a freight broker.
Okay.
Well, I think one of the things that would help the audience, Jay, is people hear 10,000, 75,000, and
I know.
think there's this misconception where I've got to either have it sitting in a bank. Diane, can you explain that?
We have different plan options that caters to a multitude of our freight brokers and their business structure. Some of them have the funds and want to put the funds in trust, and that's what we would do through a BMC 85 program. Some of them want to pay a premium and not worry about putting the funds in, and we have options under our 85 product where it's still being funded, so it's federally compliant, but you're not having to tie up your business capital to do it. Or we have the BMC 84 product where, depending on your credit and your financials, we can get you approved for an annual, semi-annual, or quarterly rate. And It is set at a $75,000 federal requirement. Okay. It's no longer at the 10. The 10 was done away with in 2013 when the government implemented MAP 21.
So the little guy with the 1 ton and the 3 car that's doing what I told him, which is go get more cars than you can move, and then we'll start brokering them out. He's like, I don't have that kind of money, but you're saying he can go with the BMC 84
or 85. We have different options.
Right.
You just call me and I get your credit and I will give you options. You have the ability to not have to put the capital up. You'll be able to pay a maintenance fee or a premium.
That's what I was saying. You don't have to show up with a suitcase with 75 grand. You don't have to do that.
Nope.
Right.
But if you have that suitcase, come on down, Auto Transport Intel, and we'll have
we'll have a little party.
Okay, exactly. Okay, so
get you to PFA real quick.
Here's a question. What's the simple, you tie the string around your finger. BMC 84, BMC 85. What's an easy way to remember this and understand it?
Okay. A BMC 85 is a trust fund agreement issued through a financial institution and is required to have funds in trust, letter of credit, or cash. Okay. That's an 85 product through a bank. It's the best way to describe it.
Through a bank. Okay.
Yeah. A BMC 84 is a surety bond, and it's going to be an insurance product, not an insurance policy, but an insurance product that's going to be provided to you based on your credit and or financials for a premium. There are no funds in trust, but both the 85 and the 84, if they pay out on your behalf for a claim, you are responsible for refunding the provider, whether it's the 85 or the 84. If it is your money in a BMC 85 trust fund agreement, your $75,000. With PFA, we reach out to you and we work with you to resolve those claims without dipping into those funds automatically. Because if I do, you're now below the $75,000 requirement. I have to cancel you until you make that whole again. Okay. If we can get you to get these carriers paid without having to dip into your funds, great. If we have to, we cancel you, we get it resolved, we get those claims paid out. Then we get the money back into a hole and we can get you reinstated if need be. We have other options where you don't have to fund it. So if we're paying out on your behalf, we're going to come back after you because technically you owe that money to the carrier, not us. We're just putting it up for you on your behalf so that you can legally operate out there.
Right. That's why it's not a policy.
Like a safety net.
Correct.
Is there a different rate and payment between the 84 and the 85?
Yes, of course. A lot of people think the 84 is going to be a lot cheaper for them because that can be brought down on credit and or financials again. But PFA, and I can't speak for other BMC 85 providers out there because we are the largest provider of the 85s in the industry. So we're the leader. We know what we're doing and we've been doing this for over 20 years. So we will actually be able to fund the trust. And then if you need it on a lower payment, it just depends. It depends on where your credit is. It depends on if you want to put money in trust. You have the ability to. We're never going to say, no, you can't, because you have the ability to. Some people feel better when it's a fully funded trust fund agreement and it's on their money.
Does it accrue interest by chance?
It does. But that's part of the reason why we don't charge our fully cash plans an annual premium. They can put their funds in. They have a one-time fee that they pay up front. Any interest earned on that 75K is going to be held by PFA And we're not going to charge you fees for providing the 85 and funding the trust and maintenance on the trust. And we facilitate the claims for you for free, up to 3 per quarter. Okay, so free inquiries or claims per quarter.
Is the analogy here like 84 is more like a subprime unsecured debt loan? No, it's the other way.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, I hear both sides of it. I've been doing this for 13 years, and I've heard pros on the 84, and I've heard cons on the 84, and I've heard vice versa on the 85. There's been rumors that the 85 will go away. We have the 84 to be able to encompass our brokers if that were to ever occur. But with other providers, there are going to be huge differences because they only offer one product or the other. With us, we're a different beast because we have the ability to do both the 85 and the 84 for our freight brokers. And we put it back on them to tell us what's most affordable for them out of those options, because both are going to get them compliant with the government's regulations, right. And both are going to be able to provide a copy of their bond to their customers to show that they're compliant.
What's it like for a broker, somebody new, somebody going to be a broker, to try and navigate this without any professional help? Can they do it?
No. They're going to have a lot of pitfalls. I think they're going to get stopped a lot, and they're going to come across a lot of. I mean, I see a lot of bad reviews on brokers in general on transportation pages, like on Facebook and stuff like that. People just have a bad view of what a broker is, which is why a lot of these carriers are going to become a broker themselves. They want to cut out the middleman and do what they need to do, and then they'll figure out what it takes on their side of the fence.
So there we just got another reason why brokers serve a function in the ecosystem, because of the legality.
Correct.
Interesting. You don't hear that argument very often.
No. And the reason why you're required to split your authorities, federally not required. We don't care as a bonding company. Freight broker bond companies don't care if you combine the authorities and the entities. But the reason why the insurance provider on the carrier side cares, they don't know when you stopped acting as the broker and started acting as the carrier within the transaction. There's no clear lines of when you stopped being the broker. So you're overextending their liability. And the second reason why, and better to probably most of the owners, you own your own company. Keep your liabilities separated. Carriers get into accidents. If an accident occurs and you lose your carrier business, your brokerage is in a separate entity and a separate authority. It's still intact, and you have a way of being able to make money or keep your business going somehow. You don't lose everything in one fell swoop.
That's a great point. In the post 9/11, you believe that's coming up on 18 years ago, the insurance industry rocketed on costs of insurance, and a lot of truckers that used to carry multiple millions of dollars of protection could no longer afford that excess coverage, that umbrella. And a lot of motor carriers at that point in time reorganized all of their assets, and they took a very intentional risk management approach. And they set up a freight brokerage enterprise, a trucking MC enterprise, and then they took all their property, their rolling assets, their stable property assets, and they put them all into separate corporations. And the concept being, go ahead and sue my trucking company for $1 million and take it. You know what it's worth? Nothing, because there's no assets left in it, because all of the business funnels through my freight brokerage enterprise, and I put it on my own trucks or I put it on other people's. And over here sits my rolling assets, my tractors and my trailers, and I lease them over here, just like Ryder or Penske or Hertz or, Enterprise, whatever, right? And then my assets, my terminals and all that, those are in other company names too. And this also led to a lot of very financially stable guys, men and women, family enterprises saying, I'm turning it over to the kids, and they're going to pay me to use my tractors and trailers in my terminal, right? And then the kids were left running the freight brokerage company and the trucking companies, and mom and dad are just kind of, hanging out in warm southern states, getting nice checks because of all of the assets that they put into this thing. But, I say that not to be, mean and saying people are avoiding things. I mean, they could no longer pay for the cost of insurance, and they just quit carrying multiple millions of dollars of umbrella and excess coverage.
Yeah.
The market didn't have it available, or they couldn't afford it.
Well, you bring up, and the cost of why is insurance so expensive? People ask all the time.
Well, the reality is we're all consumers, and I don't know how often you're looking at your car insurance or your homeowner's insurance or your health insurance. I doubt too much of it's been going on the downhill, and you're bemoaning how much yours went up, and then your neighbor says how much theirs went up, and your brother-in-law just got non-renewed, and you're like, wow, I guess I'm a lucky duck, And so in the reality, actuaries are the people that are looking off into the future, and they're trying to set today's rates, anticipating the stuff that's going to happen, and they got to collect enough money up. And in the case of I'll turn to a liability product, and trucking or even a freight broker's liability protection, that actuary is trying to throw a dart off into the future, like 7 years off into the future. They're trying to throw a dart because those claims that happen tomorrow could take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years to pay out. So did I get enough money today to pay for those claims and the cost of those claims, and operating the building and paying everybody what they need to pay? So that's what an actuary has to do. Long story. What's it get to?
Yeah, but I love that. That's incredible. Throwing a dart into the future? Wow. That really helps, actually. I feel a lot better.
Back to the future, my friend.
Wow.
Okay, Marty. We're heading back. The reality is, truck insurance, for example, it's easy to talk about $1 because it's 100 pennies. Truck insurance, industry-wise, has been collecting $1's worth of premium and paying out about $1.12. So they're losing 12 cents off of every dollar of insurance across the industry. Now, if that was your business, how long would you keep doing that at the current rates?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Wow.
Not very long.
No, you couldn't. You can't.
You can't afford it, right? And so that's why the marketplace is getting tighter. That's why costs are going up. That's why certain people with bad safety records or that are doing things that they didn't disclose, that's why those people are finding it really, really tough or really expensive to get insurance. And until we as an industry can operate to a profit margin, it's going to keep going that way. And I'm not saying every trucker is a bad trucker. That's a hostile work environment that they go into every day. There's distracted drivers, there's impaired drivers, there is,
stupid drivers.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, I watch it all the time, taking away the safety zone. I just close my eyes almost at times saying this is going to get ugly, because I've seen it happen too many times in trucking. But that all, with congested roadways, and now, I appreciate the safety mandates. I understand what they're trying to get to, but those also force unsafe operating habits, right? Wouldn't I be better off to park my truck for the next 3 hours, take a nap, and then continue on to drive? But the hours of service don't allow me to do that.
Oh.
The hours of service say, keep pushing it, right? Drive into that heavily congested
man.
Houston, Texas. No,
wow.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, exactly. You are. I mean, and it's, what's really cool is that throwing down the knowledge, and then when it comes to seeing hours of service, just like the carrier, I mean, that's awesome because even you can see that as with inflexibility, it's that you can end up with a serious problem for no reason, really. Not any real reason.
I laughed at us at a posting of ties the other day. We've all been known to see things and do some foolish things at times. And I can remember myself. Thank God I never had to log my hours, but I've driven long, hard days, right? And it's just like I got to push through this town and get to the other side of it.
You have to.
And yep, I'm better off staying over there because tomorrow morning I don't want to deal with what I'm going to deal with, right?
Especially if you're anywhere near a big city,
Yep.
You have to do that, or you may as well just pack it up, shut down for the night.
And right now, due to ELDs, truckers are already losing hours because they're spending 30, 60, 90 minutes trying to find a parking space.
I got my Kool-Aid here because I'm going to drink the ELD.
So, they don't get an opportunity.
Let's go ahead and shut her down and drink some Kool-Aid.
Yep.
Hey, by the way, you guys, here's what we're going to do. We're going to hear a word from Sun Country Trailers. Proud to have them as a sponsor. I want to play Sun Country Trailers ad real quick, and then we're going to come back. And when we come back, I'm going to ask you about contingent auto liability cargo. Do I have that right? Contingency policies? Because someone asked a question, so we're going to come back. So stick around, and we're going to talk about that.
When it comes to creating quality car haulers, precise engineering and expert manufacturing is key. Since 1986, Sun Country Trailers specialized in manufacturing industrial-strength commercial haulers to fit every need. Each Sun Country Trailer car hauler is built with hand-cut steel and precision-cut parts for consistency and craftsmanship you can rely on. Once built, each hauler is sandblasted and given a rich powder coat finish, after which the hydraulics and wiring are expertly installed. Before leaving our manufacturing facility, each car hauler undergoes a stringent inspection, using a checklist and build sheet to ensure premier quality results. Need something unique? Choose among our wide range of upgrade options for a versatile car hauler that meets your precise needs. Our experienced service department is able to help you with any repairs, maintenance, and replacement parts your Sun Country trailer may need. And because we stand by our industry-leading quality, each Sun Country trailer is backed by a 1-year warranty on both the structure and all non-wearable parts. Learn more online at suncountrytrailers.com or call us today at 866-887-2453.
Thank you so much, Sun Country Trailers. You make a great trailer, and you talk to your future customers to find out what's going to be the best deal for them, and we really appreciate it, and I appreciate you being part of this show. Listen, if you are just joining me, we are continuing a live panel discussion with PFA Transportation Insurance and Surety Services. And by the way, I'm excited that you guys are my newest sponsor. Tomorrow is May 1st. And thank you so much for being a part of my show, helping support what we're trying to accomplish here at Auto Transport Intel, to support the community, share the education and training and the knowledge, and then now that you have knowledge, you share the knowledge to provide services so that you can grow your business and avoid the pitfalls out on the road. So, I mean, I appreciate you guys being a part of this so I can be a part of that, and it's awesome. It really means a lot.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yeah. Right. All right. Well, listen, we're back, and we're talking about contingency. What is the contingent? Tell me more, please.
Well, first off, I mean, just simple word definition. What's contingent mean? It means in case of, right? So in case of, in case of emergency, break the glass. Well, in case that trucker's cargo doesn't respond the freight broker may choose to have a protection, a contingent cargo in case that cargo doesn't respond. A contingent liability protection is also saying in case their auto liability for some reason doesn't exist. Well, why doesn't it exist? Forgot to pay the premium. I never got an updated certificate of insurance. I failed to check with them. You know, a host of things could have happened, right? And the freight broker was just running under the assumption that everything was cool, and it wasn't. And I know, I mean, this is a very minuscule thing that could happen, but how many truckers, you know, a freight broker's looking at their certificate saying, today's Tuesday and your insurance expires on Friday. I'm not going to give you a load today. Why? Because you're not going to get there till Saturday, you know. Well, my insurance is renewing. I don't have proof of that, right? So, I mean, I've seen truckers shut down, but what if they gave him that load and it didn't deliver till Saturday, and on Friday night, you know, he had the opportunity to roll his truck and he did, you know. Friday night he still got coverage. Well, that expired at 12:01 a.m. I've had that claim filed against my insurance company that I worked for. The guy's insurance expired at 12:01 a.m., let's say on May 1st. And on May 1st at 6 p.m., he rolled his truck. Did he have insurance? Nope. He was about 18 hours without insurance when he rolled his truck because it expired at 12:01 a.m. So he's looking in his rearview mirror going, I guess I should have paid that bill yesterday, right? And so the freight broker buying a contingent is in case that trucker fails to have the coverage. The freight broker has other kinds of exposures themselves. They could still get sued for you know, employees getting injured. That's workers' comp. Employment practices issues. You know, you harassed an employee. You said the wrong thing. You looked at them wrong. You know, those are employment practices type things that can come along. General liability. Somebody says that, you know, you stated something, libel, slander, you have a contractual challenge. You got a dog that's protecting your yard and the dog bit somebody, you know, those are GL things. So there's other types of auto exposures that can happen too, but those are tending to be the big ones. Diane is awesome about talking to people right up front about the cargo, because that's usually the first nuisance thing that comes along to bite them. And so they get a contingent cargo up front. She's good about making sure that they're aware of these exposures, and that's a great place for them to start. Oftentimes they're leasing a premises. Can you go into a premises without having a general liability policy? Some landlords say no. Right? And because you're in this cohabitation, there's other people around you. You got to start having GL with fire damage legal liability, and you're responsible for the build out of your suite. So you got to buy some property, and your head's spinning, right? Well, Guess what? That's what you got to do. That's what the landlord says. I don't like that. Then go find another place, right? Well, I want that office suite. Then shut up and deal with it, right? I mean, unless you can renegotiate that tenant's agreement, that's your reality at that point in time.
Okay, so now that we have the information, back to Diane. Here we are. Okay, BMC 84, BMC 85. We've taken care of that. Now let's talk about the contingency policy.
More often than not, my brokers, our brokers, the brokers out there, if they have at least a contingent cargo policy purchased up front, they're going to be very marketable to other shippers out there. And it's going to place you above other brokers within the industry, because most brokers are only licensed and bonded, because that's what's federally required. You can then go and advertise yourself as licensed, bonded, and insured, just like your carrier, because you have insurance on top of it as well. So it's good to have at least the contingent cargo. And then you're always going to be asked by shippers to carry one or the other type of the liability policies, which is general liability or freight broker auto liability / contingent auto liability. So you're going to be required to carry liability policies as well. And it's beneficial to carry all three of them, honestly. The contingent cargo protects the cargo in place. The GL protects your business. And the freight broker auto, or the contingent auto, can protect a freight broker from third-party bodily injury claims that they had nothing to do with, such as carriers and accidents. And then everybody in the transaction was sued. So that's a type of a policy that could be very beneficial for our freight brokers within the industry.
All right, so the terms are contingent auto liability, contingent cargo, and general liability. You were going to say something, Richard?
Those, and again, you bring up a good point. They're under different terms, so just think of an auto protection, a cargo protection, and a general liability type protection, because it gets really confusing. This isn't a controlled space. It's not like talking about a homeowner's policy, which is pretty similar, or your personal auto policy. This commercial space can get pretty freaky on you, and different titles, and the coverage can be all over the place.
Correct.
But Diane nailed it well there. What do you look like? What's your budget, right? How much money do you have for this? What's going to give you peace of mind? And there are shippers that are looking at these things. They don't want to claim to be rising up and coming towards them. And if you're there buffering, picking good carriers, making sure the insurance is in place there, good broker carrier agreement, protection at your own level, they feel that you're more professionally competent, right? That you're a better qualified provider of transportation services for them.
Right.
I want to find out some of the benchmarks of numbers. We know that in auto transport, your cargo is, you've got a standard range. Ty, why don't you, I could say it, but I could get some of these numbers a little off. Ty, in auto transport, what are your ranges of what kind of cargo coverage you need to have? And then I want to pass it over to Diane and see what, on the broker contingency cargo, those numbers would be.
I usually see anywhere between 100,000 and maybe about $500,000. $500,000 is kind of on the high end. Is that what you guys see?
Yeah, like on a 9-car?
Cargo?
Yeah.
I don't see $500,000 very often. The standard's usually about 250, I think.
Is that policy limits or premiums?
Cargo.
Okay.
Those are policy limits, I believe, right? Yeah. So then
So on your transporters, what are you looking at? A flat, you're looking at a 3-car, 4-car wedge, are you looking at a 6-7 auto transport, right? Are you looking at new, or are you looking at used? Those are all the variables that come into play.
Yeah.
I used to do a specialized auto transporter. I had $2 million limits because we had exotics, we had prototypes, right? You have all this funky stuff. So, knowing kind of back to that, what's my business plan, what's my lane, and what am I going to be running with? I think the freight broker needs to look at it the same way, and so, not to speak for Diane, I hear her talking. She's got a loud voice. She sits down the hallway and I hear
her. You're lucky you don't sit down the hall from me.
She's passionate. She's passionate about it, but it's the question, what are the limits that you are responsible for, right? That's the conversation you got to have. And not to get too deep into the weeds here, but it's real easy, as Ty said, to say I'm $100,000 cap, period, or I'm a 150, right? Because Diane can get 100 or she can get 150. When it starts getting above that, then it's like, well, but some of my loads go to 250 and some go to 500. We can get specialized provisions for those things. Sometimes they're for a shipper, right? My loads for Mercedes-Benz got to be at 500,000. Okay. How much revenue do you have from Mercedes-Benz? Because the rest of them are at 100, but I got $1 million in receipts from Benz. Then you get a provision to help cover that. So that's where listening to the customer and having the conversations. And sometimes it's a swag, if you guys know what a swag is. I got to guess how far this is going to go. and I have to take a scientific wild ass guess to get. And that's just the way it's going to be.
Taking a swag.
But
No matter how you slice it, giving a phone call to Diane to find out what you're looking at makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
Right?
Yes, it does. Absolutely.
And it's a phone call.
Mm-hmm.
It's 800-595-2615. What about a 800-595-2615? What about, can someone send an email to
Absolutely.
PFA?
That's a lot longer and a lot more convoluted.
Oh, yeah, it is.
That. Have you seen my last name?
Nobody, actually, yeah. I'm gonna go for here. Yeschenko.
You're wild, man.
Yeschenko at PFAProtects.com.
PFAProtects.com. Now, we all know that in trucking, we want to make a phone call, which is why we're going to ingest this industry with robots.
Correct.
Okay. So long as I always got to get that in every show because it makes no sense.
Right.
But I was going to say this earlier is that see if I can still remember what I was going to say. Speaking of apps, technology, if we're going to make an app to cut out all the brokers, is the app a broker?
Yes.
Does the app need?
If they're acting as the middleman between a shipper and a carrier, it's a broker. There you go. That's the definition of a broker.
And that app is going to need a BMC 84 or 85.
Mm-hmm.
And insurance.
Correct.
You bring up a great point, and Uber and Lyft have been kicked in the teeth over this stuff, saying we're just a technology platform.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Culpa.
That's all we are. We're just a tech platform. Well, in the transportation space, Diane nailed it. You're still hooking up the shippers and the truckers, and we're just waiting for those cases to come along where they're going to get, grabbed by the back of their head and beat up against a wall a couple times. Because
what was funny, Richard, is we were Matt's talking to Convoy, and I don't know where the quit. So what do you guys call yourself? And we're broker. So I thought that was interesting, but I don't think in our world, car hauling, the tech guys don't even think like that. Like you said, it's a tech.
Not
app.
Really.
Well, and Uber Eats and Amazon delivery and all this stuff. I mean, everybody's dancing around this stuff, and everybody's, I hate to say it, but the great big transportation enterprises have been eating these losses. They've been containing them inside. So now when people out on the street that aren't able to just kind of deal with those problems when they arise, those are the people that are probably going to be the first ones to get hurt, because great big trucking company has a MC with freight brokerage and freight forwarding and trucking, and along comes $100,000 problem and they just pay for it. How many $100,000 problems is Ty going to pull his checkbook out and just pay for on a regular basis?
Not too many.
Well, so maybe there's the job security hope that a lot of drivers have been looking for, is that an autonomous semi, who's going to pay the bill when the thing turns the wrong way at the wrong time?
Right.
Right?
I think tech has its place, and tech is helping us substantially. I love the tech. I don't know how it's going to be capable of all that crazy stuff we talked about earlier, congestion and other moronic drivers and stuff like that. We have automated trains running in Phoenix, and car drivers are running into them all the time.
Well, that's a person, right? And that's the thing. That's what's so weird, is that if people continue to misbehave so badly, you're gonna get replaced by a robot. Like, you're part of the problem.
right?
What? It's so funny, right?
True.
Stop being part of the problem
And call Diane.
and call Diane. Oh, man, there you go. Stop being part of the problem and call Diane. There you
I
go.
like you, Ty. I like you.
I got your back. Don't worry. I'll be sending you a lot of folks.
All right.
Oh, and you know what? I'm glad you said that, Ty, because that is one of the things. That's one of the things that we know is that not only are we sharing information right now, but Ty talks to people every day that are asking questions, basic questions. And, okay, I'm going to help you. I'm going to train you on this and this and this. And then you need to go talk to Diane.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got your back.
That is pretty cool, man.
Well, and that's really, honestly, that's why, the thing of it is I'm good at a couple of things, and I'm not really that great at a couple. But if I can surround myself with people like Diane, Richard, hey, I don't need to be that good.
That's what I'm doing, man. I just know how to run the switcher over here and do the microphones and stuff. That's not true at all. But, why not? I mean, but no, it is. It's really great is that, and this kind of brings us full circle because we're at the 10 o'clock mark, is that the purpose of this channel and reaching out to other companies, having folks on the show, grow the network. The word is getting out. The cat's out of the bag. There is a car hauling business channel. I want to get into car hauling. I want to improve my business. You need to talk to Ty. And then Ty can help, figure out where you're at, what you need to do. And then based on those answers, send you over to folks like Diane. And now you're really dealing with a professional. You guys, over 20 years of doing this?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Very proud of it.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
That is a long time.
Yeah.
20 years is a long time.
It's awesome.
It is
And
awesome.
it's fun for Jay and I like having quality people around us that are experts in that field. I mean, golly, it's amazing.
Yeah, we do. We talk, Ty and I talk every day about, individuals growing their businesses. In fact, what's neat is in a week when we talk at the Auto Haulers Association of America and we're with Sun Country and a mystery guest, that Ty is going to expand upon how individuals, how many people did you talk to today that you helped? Individuals in America today.
Oh man, I know for sure 5.
Exactly. And even if it's just 5, how many people helped 5 individuals just today? Not everybody. I didn't help 5 individuals today. Not on an individual level. Right? I'll bet Diane, I'll bet you do that. Right?
You're probably doing more than 5.
Yeah, I do. More than 5.
Right. And these are individuals with specific circumstances that need advice right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. That's powerful.
Well, and I really want to emphasize Richard, what Richard's saying. There's so much value that I definitely can't put it into words, but the value of what Richard's saying about separating these two, getting it done, having it set up, talking to Diane, he's so right, guys. He is on the money, perfect right. And as we grow our business, by having these things set up, that allows us to do other cool things later that Richard's talking about as we grow. So it's a fundamental. I usually don't start promoting until somebody's maybe been in it 3 months. I do try to encourage them to get in if they've got the money right away. But at the same time, don't interline and don't broker. Just wait till we need that. And so he's absolutely right. That's my point.
You just mentioned another term. I need a bell that I can ring every time we hear a new term. Interlining. What's interlining?
Ooh, it's just what car haulers do every day. I can haul 9 cars, but I got 10. Which way are you going? South? Oh, me too. And so is the car I can't put on. Would you throw it on? You can, matter of fact, follow me down and I'll pay you cash. That's interlining.
Interlining.
not the way it's supposed to go. Is that right, Richard?
Yeah, I mean, again, back to the old truckload versus LTL guys, right? The LTL guy, less than truckload, right? He would share that freight, which was headed off to that other city that he didn't serve. So it was putting it on another truck that was running that route, and that's exactly what Ty said.
Yeah, and these terms get very innocuous. Oh no, what's innocuous? But dangerous, speculative. It's a bunch of swag, you know. I mean, right? And it's so interesting. I think that's why I like the English language itself, just because these words that we use. In fact, we talk now about SEO. What in the world is SEO? Is that like a CEO? You know, these words that we use when we go to Google, search engine optimization. Each word that we use contains a meaning, and it's very important. And that's why I like when you talk about insurance, you kind of start to stack the building blocks in a very understandable way that I can absorb the information. I loved the information tonight. It was awesome.
Yeah, you did a good job, Richard. That's a tough topic for guys like us. Our attention span's really not that long. And you did a great job. Kept my attention.
I get accused of being Charlie Brown's teacher. Wah, 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 wah. You know, so I've been doing this since 1986. So I'm trying to not sound like the fat old insurance guy that I am. So any questions that arise, bring it back, and I'll try to clarify myself. I appreciate this. I really respect you guys, and this has been a great opportunity for us.
Yeah. Well, we'll be sending folks your way.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
This has been great. And by the way, I said it earlier, Richard is very visible on LinkedIn. If you see Richard Bren of PFA, you know that you are in for some information and knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like a tree, man. Like a tree of knowledge. Yeah.
Fire hose. Don't ask for it, guys. It'll start pouring out.
That's right. Oh, I like that one. Drinking from the fire hose, right? That's what happens if you start to get into this insurance information. It's a lot of stuff. But now that I think that after I know a few folks that have stuck around the entire time that hearing it and it's quantified. And let me just ask this real quick. Errors and omissions was brought up. Can you expand on that for a minute?
So when a doctor or a lawyer or an insurance agent makes an error, right? Their professional error, they messed up, right? You never want to hear oops in the operating room, right? So what happens when the insurance agent fails to do something? Well, that's the same thing. What if the freight broker was told that this load needed to be kept at 32 degrees and they failed to tell them? And the same thing here in auto transport. What if the requirements of it were that it was supposed to be cellophane wrapped, it was supposed to only be transported, with some sort of a protective cover inside transport. I forgot to tell them. Oops, I forgot to tell you that car needed to be inside an enclosed trailer. And now I have problems. So I made a professional error. I omitted something, not intentionally. So those are yet again some of those things that are coming down, maybe more applicable to Food Safety Management Act and some of these other things that are out there in the industry. But I'm not going to say that we couldn't sit here and think of a case where it comes down on even an auto transporter. Enclosed trailer might be a simple scenario where oops, I forgot.
So that's a separate. Is that a policy?
Yep. It's a separate coverage depending on the package.
Coverage in a policy.
How does it get embedded in, or is it a standalone kind of a thing? But if you're concerned, if that keeps you awake at night, right, then that's one of the things that we should talk about. Professional protection.
Right. Yeah. So if you're dealing at a higher level, right? If you've got high prices, revenues, clients? No.
All of us, again, we're all consumers. We all face risks every day, and if we choose or choose not to insure something, we're retaining it if we choose not to.
Right.
You know, we all think we're going to live forever or die trying. You know, the guy that doesn't buy life insurance is retaining that exposure, right? He's going to die anyway. Right? He is, whether or not, you know. And so the same thing, the same thing said about health insurance, but you know, it's just like, well, I don't want to buy cargo insurance. Fine, the loss is still yours. I don't want to buy GL. Fine, the loss is still yours.
Right.
I'm never going to have an E&O problem. Fine, the loss is still yours. My job is to talk to you about it. Diane's job is to talk to you about it.
Right.
Wow.
Jay, here's a good one for you that you'll know what the errors in omission is for the guy that says, oh, I forgot to tell you to get that spare key from the wife. And then you get there and you deliver it, and that spare key turns out to be $1,000 key fob. Whoops.
Yeah, right. Wow, yeah, right. Well, it's interesting. I mean, you don't see E&O coverage very often. I don't. Well, I mean, you guys do, right? That'd be crazy.
Yeah,
Asking an insurance person, but you, right? I think I rarely hear that in auto transport.
Yeah.
Correct. Auto transporting.
But maybe, right? More in brokering, would that be?
There's other shippers out there that require it from our freight brokers.
But in brokering, you're dealing more with data and communication. And since we've all seen that great Facebook video where that's a miscommunication, the first guy, he's just stomping his foot to start an engine. You get to guy 50 and he's saluting and dancing and he's, you know.
Yep.
I've watched that one twice, Jay.
Yeah, it is. It's fun to watch. Yeah. So that would be errors and omission.
Errors and omission.
Communication.
No, it's definitely, I mean, that's why I like these guys. They definitely are on it. On the game.
Yeah, no, I keep trying to come up with questions that there's so much stuff, and now you guys answered it all. So I'm gonna tell the live chat and the audience, listen, if you guys have any questions about any of what we talked about tonight or beyond, you know, you can call 800-595-2615, and that's PFA, Transportation Insurance and Surety Services. Really, thank you guys so much for all the information and for taking the time to spend that with us here Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for having us.
Our pleasure. Thanks.
We'll be talking to you soon.
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you guys so much.
Good night.
All right. Good night. All right. I am ending the meeting. Yes, I have ended the meeting. And then, so let's go ahead and do this. And, whoops, activate that. Oh, wait a minute. Let's do, I got so many settings here. Let's do custom. Bang. Look at it. Look at that widescreen kick in. Let's go ahead and do that. Oh, wow. Thank you guys so much for sticking around, staying up late with me, and learning about, talking about all of this brokering, insurance, and surety bond information, contingency, cargo, and liability, the separation of when you file your authority, MC authority for the carrier, broker authority, and then the filings therein. And if you have any questions, you know who to contact, you know what to do. You've got a phone number here in the live chat. I want to thank you guys. You know, I'm here every Tuesday night. I'm live on YouTube. I'm Jay at Auto Transport Intel. Whether you're a car shipping customer, auto transport company, car hauling dispatcher, car carrier service provider, this is Auto Transport Intel. This is the car hauling business channel. And I'm live every Tuesday night. And then in between, you can find me on Facebook. I've got Facebook posts every day. And then I'm also going to upload the interview from tonight as a separate video, so you can check that out. And I really appreciate you guys sticking around. If you didn't already give me a like, please give me a like. I appreciate that. It helps me in the YouTube rankings. You can send me an email, autotransportintel@gmail.com. Let me know if you have a question. If you have a question for Ty, visit ctsbusinesscoaching.com. Remember that the PFA website is pfaprotects.com. You see right there below, PFA Protects. And of course, I want to thank Sun Country Trailers for participating in this channel and helping me grow. I want to thank PFA, Transportation Insurance and Surety Services, for sponsoring me for next month in May. And also Evil Sizer and Associates. And we're going to meet Penny at Evil Sizer in 2 weeks. So it means a lot to me. I'm going to be live with Ty and Sun Country and a mystery guest at the Auto Haulers Association of America conference. I'll be speaking next Tuesday afternoon. So if you're already enrolled in the conference, I'll see you there. If you're not, find out more about it. If you can just Google Auto Haulers Association of America. AHAA is what it's commonly known as. And listen, guys, I thank you so much for sticking around, staying up with me. It's 10:20, so that means I'm going to roll that car hauler. I'm going to say goodnight. American Veterans Auto Transport, you did this industry a solid by connecting me and PFA, Transportation Insurance and Surety Services. So great. I loved the interview tonight. It was really informative. It was fun. They are great people, and they want to help you. So ask them how they can help you. Ask them a question. They're going to give you an answer. You guys, I will see you next Tuesday night. Now, next Tuesday night, man, I don't even know what to expect. I'm going to be live at the Auto Haulers Association of America conference. I'm going to be in Atlanta. I don't know what'll be happening. I might be a few minutes late. I don't know where I'm going to be. Might be at the hotel. We might still be at dinner. I don't even know. It's going to be crazy. It'll be a shorter show like when I was live in San Diego. It'll be experimental, and it probably won't even be from my laptop. I won't have all the fancy graphics and all that stuff. So, listen, thank you so much. I'll see you next Tuesday. Here comes the car hauler. You guys stay safe. Be cool. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.